It's the JT Cho Show!
10, 9,
8,
6,
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the JT Show. I'm your host, JT. Today is July 28th of 2020, and this is episode number 42. Yeah, 42. We didn't think we'd get here. You know, nobody thought we'd get here, but we're here. I honestly don't even understand why I'm famous. I was getting like 9 polls a week, plus more. Episode 41 was probably the worst podcast interaction that I've ever had in a long time, and I was just like, oh man, dude, the numbers, I'm just not making it. But you know, I just don't understand. My content's gold. I'm kidding. It can get a lot better, but you got to build a following. Okay, you got to get viewers, you got to get sponsors. That's how you got to get your word out there. So no Elon Musk update. If you listen to my last podcast, you'll know what that's all about. Let me take a drink of some nice ice cold coffee. You know, I got everything set up last night for, my day today. We'll dive more into that. I want to talk about Joe Rogan and his comments about video games today. I want to talk about the MLB and Corona. So let's just start right into it. I promised one of our guests on this show before, and one of our constant viewers, Pratt Daddy Prather. I said, hey, I kind of was thinking about that trip we were talking about last night. I like visiting my friends. He lives in Arkansas. And, I might get down there for a hunting season. But I was also thinking, of some softball highlight plays that we used to do where, like, Prather, one time he was playing right, and he got this shallow ball, and he threw it to first, and I caught it. No, actually, he was playing second. He was playing somewhere, but he threw the ball to first base. And I caught it with my bare hand instead of my glove because it was off and my foot was already planted because I already planted it pre to the throw, like you shouldn't do, but I did it anyways. So I was just thinking about, all the bombs we used to hit and all the shit he used to talk. So I was thinking, maybe next year, if Corona's over, we should definitely do, like, a softball tournament down in Arkansas. I think that'd be sick. I know you got, maybe a team, so I'll play catcher. I'll pitch. I'll play outfield. I don't give a shit. But take that in consideration. If not, then, I'll come down for deer season or something, and we'll have ourselves a good old time. But last night, I played a lot of Call of Duty. My only dub came with my work homies. Iron Man Stan came in strong. So did Joe. So we had a dub first game in the morning directly after work. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty proud of that. As soon as you get home from work, you're just like, fuck, dude, just give me a beer. Let me play now. It's for the video games online. That's what I do. Then I take a shower and I go to sleep. But we got that W. I woke up, played video games most of the day. Finished in the top 5 a couple times. Didn't really ever get that win. Played a little bit of Rocket League. But last night, it was all about preparing myself for today. So I pre-made myself a pot of coffee for the morning because I can slam iced coffee. I like hot coffee, but you got to drink it at a pace because it's one of those things where you can't drink too early unless you will absolutely burn your mouth. And if you hear that clicking noise in the background right now, it's because I'm doing laundry. Which brings me to my next point, though. I got off at 2 o'clock in the morning last night. And I made myself coffee, and then I kind of planned out what I was going to have for breakfast. I had a smoothie. I woke up early. I did all my back stretches. And then I went for a 3-mile run this morning. I did a nice 8:30 pace, just nice and relaxed. I just ran 3 miles because I knew I needed it. I drank some coconut water, followed with some regular water. And then went out golfing, shot 9 holes, got the W. And during golf today, I did not suck, okay? If you tuned into the last podcast, I didn't say this, but I almost just wanted to give up golf. I was golfing at like 50 or 60%, because of the pain in my back. I got one more adjustment to go to on Thursday. We talked about it, but it feels completely better with the stretches that I do and with the icing still. He said like by the end of this week it'll be at 100%, but I mean right now I'm rocking 95, and I was bombing some 250s with the drives today. I was hitting them nice and straight all the way until hole 7. I got a par on a par 3. Had some really good chips. I had 2 terrible holes, but ended up beating my Faja. He just bought the TaylorMade M2, so he's still trying those out. But, I came home and I was trying to record this podcast sooner, but I went to bed at 2 because of video games, and then I woke up at 7 a.m. So I needed a little bit of a nappy poo. So sometimes you see I'm a little tired. It's not that, like, oh, I'm doing this podcast tired, but, like, after I do these podcasts, because they're kind of draining, like, me, like, I'm not, like, trying to brag, but, doing a show by yourself is kind of a lot of work, energy-wise. You just got to talk for an hour. And I know I bullshit a lot, and I know I talk, and all my friends are like, Taylor talks a fucking lot. But that's one of the things that kind of enjoy about it. So I took my nap prior to the show today, conked out, threw those sheets in the wash because I was like, you know what, whatever, they needed to be washed anyways. Woke up, took a shower, set it up for the podcast. And why was I so tired? I'll answer, because I was playing video games. Now, video games are going to be something that I'm going to talk about because of the Joe Rogan podcast. Now, everyone's all uppity right now about the way that Joe Rogan talked about video games. Joe Rogan, in his previous podcast, he's talked about his addiction to video games because they are addicting. He also talks about I believe in another episode he talked about how cool they are because you actually have to like be good at it to finish the story. It's not like a movie where you pay like $5 and you get to sit there for 2 hours and some popcorn and drink a 44-ounce fucking Coca-Cola. You don't just that's what I do, but you don't get that. You have to on a skill base for most of the time. You have to make decisions. You have to have some skill to, advance to the next level of the game so you can unlock more of the story. Like, he's talked about this on his podcast. But the internet and the way that it works today is it takes clips and it doesn't show you the backstories or the prequels, or they just out of context information so they can rage so fucking hard without doing any fucking research. Now, what Joe Rogan said about video games, the pros and the cons, he said that basically they don't get you anywhere in life, that, you can play a UFC 3 or you can play some video games for hundreds of hours, but it doesn't make you a specialist. But, you put 3 years, you put 3 years into, BJJ, then you might be able to become an instructor and run a gym. But if you put 3 years into video games and 3 years later, you're just going to be sitting there. Now, yes, one of my dreams is to make money off of streaming, okay? I love playing video games, okay? But you got to be good. You got to have a personality. You got to have a following. You got to have, a style, a little pizzazz. Unless you're one of those streamers that just have raw skill and really good, thumbs or keyboards and sticks and, I was once there, okay? I will say this 100%. And you can ask anybody that we used to play with. Call of Duty World at War, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Black Ops, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I was in the sauce, okay? I was playing way more than I play now, which is, you're just like, holy shit, you play a fucking lot now. And I was playing twice as much almost back then. This is when I'm 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, just playing an ass load of video games. And I was at the time where if I probably would have committed and streamed and actually got a job to support my lifestyle, then maybe things could have turned out differently. But that's just the same fucking shit that people say when they sit in bars 40 years later, oh yeah, if coach would have put me in, I would have fucking scored the game-winning touchdown. I'm not bitching. I'm just saying, I used to be pretty fucking good at those Call of Duties. But people were mad because he said it's going to get you nowhere. But a majority of people like just play for fun, and it is a time waster. Like, you know how many times like, fuck, I should mow the lawn, which is 2 hours, but I'm not going to do it because I'm going to sit here and play video games because the boys are on. Oh, why do you think I'm doing some laundry during the podcast? Well, I'm behind in laundry because I've been playing an ass load of ass load. I'm saying ass today. Day of the word ass. Ass. That's my Pee Wee Herman. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, but yeah, you can waste a lot of time playing video games. You have fun doing it, but you can waste a lot of time doing everything. You can waste a lot of time with mixed martial arts, but at least you go out into the real world and someone's about to beat your ass. It's not like you can plug in a controller and be like, oh, I'm going to use the LT, RT, up, down, A, left, right combo on your ass and finish him. You're just going to get your ass beat. You can get very fat playing video games. Just at the end of the day, enjoy video games. Play a fuck ton if you want. But go outside every once in a while and smell the fucking fresh air, okay? Like, there's other things to do. Like, trust me, I fucking love video games. And if I stream and that's all I'm doing for 8 hours a day, and I'm supporting my lifestyle, like with that lifestyle, like if I can pay the bills, then there's really nothing else I can say about it that's negative. But if you're not going to work or you're calling in sick just because you want to play video games and like that, or like you still live with your parents because you're 35 and like all you do is play video games, like that's kind of unhealthy. Go outside and fucking whatever, dude. No one's gonna cancel me because nobody fucking watches me. But that's my opinion on the Joe Rogan video game shit. He's not completely wrong. People are like, well, shut the fuck up, Joe Rogan. And someone even said, I read a comment that said, if he got coronavirus and died, I wouldn't even be sad. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. He fucking said, like, video games, like, are kind of shitty sometimes if that's all you do. And people are like, I hope you fucking die. Like, it's ridiculous, dude. By the way, this is an authentic mug. It's from Berlin. You can see here, it's got the country divided, east and west side. Yeah. My dad had a bunch of mugs in the basement, and I was like, I want this one right now. So I washed it out and thought I'd drink it on the JT Show. So I was trying to screenshot. But anyways, I wonder if I can do it. Hold on. Hey Siri, screenshot. No, it's not going to do it.
A screenshot.
Anyways, I was trying to see if I could do it for, I'm going to sound dumb on the podcast. Anyways, so, if you're not watching it, if you're doing the audio, you can head on over to my YouTube page. Just go to my Twitter, jtofjville.com. I share my YouTube link so you can find it from there. I'm just trying to get these numbers up, It'd be really cool if I could get sponsored. Oh, yeah. Hold on. I forgot one of my main points. Let's take a 5-second, let's do a fourth. We're going to do over fourth down, okay? Joe Rogan, I will say this, though. You can't tell me that video games get you nowhere, okay? Because and like I said, if you're watching, you can't tell me look, man, I'm a fucking Pokemon master, okay? You can't tell me I can't flex on motherfuckers walking down the street, opening up this coat like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, come at me, Joe Rogan. Come at me. Alright. Well, now that I went through that, I can take off this coat because it's kind of a little warm in here. Yeah, I went through 5 minutes of prep work for that stupid fucking joke, so I hope you people enjoyed it. If you haven't, subscribe to my Insta, which is JT of Jville. Same with my Twitter. Go over to jtofjville.com. You can find all my links on there. So we're going to go on to the next subject. We'll go back to my morning, though. So I had a fruit smoothie. I did my stretches. I did that run. And what I really like about my run is that my back wasn't hurting. The temperature of life of Earth of Jackson. It was really nice this morning. It was in the low 70s, slight breeze, but nothing to where you're running into it and you're just Let's see. Hold on. I'm down. Sorry, Jeff was hitting me up. By the way, quick little preview. Saturday, if you're not doing nothing, I'll throw the highlights on it too. But I will be going over to Jeff's house, who is U.S. War Machine. So this Saturday, I'll be going over to Jeff's house. I'm going to record this and send it to him. And I'm going to be jumping on his VR headset, maybe do a little bit of streaming on that on his channel, and then I'll share it on my channel. So if you're ever on Twitch, please go subscribe to US_War_Machine. Go subscribe to his channel. You can also find some of his retweets on my Twitter. So go help a brother out. But yeah, so sometimes I like to send my friends snippets of like me recording because I do. I like to boost up my friends because my friends are boosting up me. I have a lot of like really close motherfuckers that like I don't want to say they miss me. Okay, they like they like these conversations. It reminds them of the good old times in the shitty areas that you lived in because like we weren't living in like the greatest fucking area, but it's the people that like made you fucking survive that. So. Those motherfuckers are my homies, some ride or dies that I've met, and that's what being a homie is all about. So I thank you guys for the support, for sticking with all these and ums that I keep doing, but I did that on purpose. But anyways, that's why I plan these trips. That's why I love planning trips. That's why I can't wait for Alaska. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be weird. I'm taking those 8 days off of gaming, but I get to see my roommate John Burke on the way back. There it is again. B, Pepper, probably see Katrina. She'll probably be like, great. He's here. Hey, can you leave already? Just kidding. So the travel to Alaska is going to take forever. People are asking me if I'm nervous about the plane. I'm going to wear my mask. I'm going to have hand sanitizer. I'm basically going to just sleep. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the risk. I'm really not going to eat without using hand sanitizer or something like that because I'm not trying to infect anybody else. One of the major subjects that I wanted to talk about today too is sports. We're gonna, like stand-up comedy, sports just want to get back to regularity. Wow, you heard that cat, Harrison Ford. So 2 days ago, I think 8 Marlins and a coach tested positive for coronavirus. Now teams are pausing their games and teams are voting players on. I think the Angels were supposed to go down to Miami and play them, but they had some players vote like, I don't want to go down there and play them because like that's one spot where it's really bad right now, which is scary. And now you're seeing players in the NFL opt out of the 2020 season, and it's just like, can sports just fucking happen? Like, can we figure this shit out? And it's not like, look, I wear a mask, I'm fucking complying, but. I just if wearing a fucking mask somehow leads to a better tomorrow, I'll take that fucking chance because I just want fucking sports back, okay? I want a 16-game, 17-week regular fucking season of football. I want every Sunday to be about football. I want to talk about football. I want to talk about sports. I want to do stand-up comedy, okay? And it really sucks. So, one of those hard predictions, I think that if the MLB season doesn't work out, then I believe there will be no football 2020. It will not be a complete season. They will not play overall if the MLB, because here's the thing. There's no way you can make a bubble like the NBA has. The NBA court, it's played indoors. It's working. Some players are sneaking out, but then they got to quarantine. But how are you gonna You can't make a bubble for football. You can't just have like 6 games in the same arena in one day. You would have to be playing 4 days a week. You'd have to be playing Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Realistically, if you were going to try to create bubbles for divisions, like 2 round robins, and what would you do? Would you just bubble them to the next city and then make them quarantine for 2 weeks off and then play 4 games in a row? It's crazy. You got to keep the same format. You got to keep 1 game a week. You gotta. It's going to be tough. But if the MLB can't do it safely and the NFL doesn't even have a fucking safety plan, then like I'm not even going to be like watching football in 2020, and I'm going to be like, holy shit, I am a little bit depressed about that. So MLB, coronavirus, hard take of the day. I don't think there's going to be an NFL season. I don't. And I think if there's no NFL, like I've said this before, I think I might have clipped it, and I will say it again. If there's no NFL season, and then the Patriots get Trevor Lawrence, then the coronavirus was created by Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Okay, they've had this planned out for 20 years. Tom Brady wasn't even their like end game. He wasn't. It was just the start. And then it ends with Trevor Lawrence. And then they're going to have 40 years of dominance and go, all right, NFL, all right, we'll give it back to you. We'll let you have some fun. We'll take some time off. It's fine. Whatever. I'm telling you, right now, 100%. If that happens, you heard it here first, folks. 100%. Now, I was talking about some shows last week. No real anime updates. I know you don't give a shit about them, so, I try to keep those to a minimum. But Ip Man 4 came out on Netflix, and there was a certain point of my time a couple of months ago where I was just really into kung fu movies. I was watching Enter the Dragon, a bunch of old Bruce Lee movies, Ip Man 1 through 3, whatever movies they had on Netflix, essentially. Rumble in the Bronx, old Jackie Chan movies, whatever like Chinese kung fu movie that they had on Netflix, I was watching. And I got through Ip Man 1 through 3. I sort of like the series. You can say what you want about it. Here comes a yawn, and I'm not even tired. I'm chugging coffee, and I'm still yawning. I'm about to shotgun a Red Bull. So, if you don't want Ip Man 4 spoiled, then turn me off. Sorry I wasted your time. I'm going to be talking about this for a second. But if you don't give a shit, I will give you my overall take on Ip Man. Now, Ip Man 4. Hold on. How'd you play? Oh, great. Anyways, Ip Man 4 takes time in the Bruce Lee era of the world. It has his student in America, Ip Man, of course. He learns that he has cancer in his throat, shouldn't smoke anymore, and decides, due to circumstances, to fly off to America and find a school for his son so his son can be successful on his own. He's told nobody, though, in his close circle of friends in China, that he has cancer. So he goes over to the U.S., some shit happens. Of course, there's a pretty good fight from the beginning. But now he's got to figure out a different way to get his son this recommendation letter. But what made this movie hard to watch, and it's one of those movies where you're just holy shit, this is some terrible fucking acting for most of it. It was hard. It was okay, for instance, there was a girl who was a blonde, white woman, a total Karen in her day, and she was cheerleading, but then the Chinese girl, who was the daughter of one of the head immigrant helping services to help these kids study in America, she did a better flip and won the head cheerleader. So she gets a gang of 8 boys, and they beat the shit out of her, and she cuts her hair, and it's just they're all just beating the shit out of this chick. I'm first of all, how like how shitty was America in 1970, where like four white dudes would just be like holding down one Chinese chick and just beating the shit out of a woman regardless of her race, and just being this. I'm okay with this. I understand that I'm in high school and like uh um like no need to be like, oh, they're too young, they don't know what they're doing, but like they totally know what they're doing because they're like yelling terrible profanities at like during this time. And I was just like, wow, dude, like these people are just pieces of shit, and everyone's just like it was just like okay. And here's my like little touch of race, like on racism here, like in America right now. If this movie is accurate on how 1970 racism is, we have come a super long way, and it's gotten much better, but it's nowhere near the level that it needs to be for us to really unite as a country. And honestly, with everything that's going on this year, it's really opened my eye on how much there actually is. As of before, I thought it might have been just a few people. It's a lot more than just a few people. But I'm not here to. I really can't solve the issue. You know, I can tell everybody use the golden rule. Stop fucking doing like judgment. I mean, like, just who the fuck looks at somebody and they're like, oh, he looks different than me. I'm better than him because of my skin color. Like, if you think that way, I will say this 100%. If that's the way your fucking brain works, and you're like, yeah, that's right, dude. Like, well, yeah, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with thinking like that? Like, yeah, that's the way it should be. You're a fucking idiot, okay? You're dumb. You're fucking bottom of the fucking gene pool. You're a fucking idiot. You're dumb. But I really don't have, like, I'm not anybody of importance. I'm not here to go into politics. I vote. I try to be proactive. But realistically, like, I'm not going to be able to say something at the level of me, like, in my life probably, unless, like, you know, I'm Tom Hanks or somebody who's got all that power. And there's got to be, like, I mean, we've hit the breaking point. You've seen it. But I don't have the ultimate answer, so I don't like to just keep adding things to something that I can't solve. But going back to Ip Man 4, there's so much crazy racism in this movie, but that's one of their main points. And the guy who played Bruce Lee, he did an all right job, pretty average. But the antagonist in this movie, I believe it's Enter the Dragon with Chuck Norris. Let me Google that real quick. Google Chuck Norris. Let's see, Chuck Norris. Fucking Chuck Norris. Enter the Dragon. It is. Okay, so Chuck Norris and Enter the Dragon. That's Bruce Lee's competitor. A believable antagonist. Okay, you could be like, yeah, he looks like he fucking knows karate, you know? So those two fight. We all know how it ends. Now, the antagonists in this movie are these hilarious racist white people who are like, I don't need none of that fucking, like, they're like fucking knocking, they're just fucking knocking kung fu, and they're like, nobody like needs that. And it's super funny because like seeing these like super white people try to like be karate experts, I'm just like, I'm not believing it. Like, if I had a wallet full of hundreds of dollars, and because they walk up and they say, insert a racist remark here, and then all these Chinese people are like, hey man, you should stop, and they're like, some more racism here, and then they're like, oh, okay, well, here's Ip Man, and he just whoops their ass. Like, Bruce Lee did it. I'm like, you're not gonna fucking touch Bruce Lee. And there's a fight scene that Bruce Lee has, and the guy whips out like a pair of like, he's getting his ass kicked, by the way, and then he pulls out a pair of nunchucks and nunchucks, and Bruce Lee like takes his nunchucks from him and then whoops his ass with them, like at such a fucking fast rate that it's actually hard to watch, like see the speed in the movie. And you're like, dude, yeah, duh, that guy was definitely fucking not gonna be Bruce Lee, because look at him, okay? I don't give a shit. I'm betting on Bruce Lee, knowing that it was Bruce Lee 100% of the time. And Ip Man fought fucking Iron Mike Tyson in Ip Man 3, so he's like one of the best fucking fighters in the world. It's hilarious. It's like, who do you want as a bad guy in Ip Man? Oh, how about fucking Mike Tyson? It's a pretty interesting fight scene. nonetheless. But number 4, it's this. Oh, the military shit with this is fucking wild. Okay, now Ip Man is from China visiting America to find a school for his son, and there's a point where a staff sergeant in the United States military is bringing Ip Man on the base to fucking have a no rules until someone gets fucked up fight versus, I don't know, he's like a gunnery sergeant or a master sergeant. To be honest, I didn't even fucking look up his rank because the military shit in this movie is like, holy fuck. And so this motherfucker just drives up the fucking base with somebody from a foreign country in the 1970s. Like, he's just going to get through fucking security like it's nothing. He may have. I don't know how shitty security was back in 1970, but I would not believe that would happen. There's crazy fucking military shit that you're just like, I would rather bash my fucking head through a wall than go through any of that. Like, for instance, all these Marines are in like this boot camp fucking base of a world where it looks like they're in basic training, but they all just sleep in the bunks together, and it's all open bunk style, even though they're in the active duty military. Like, you have staff sergeants in like this open bay, and they're all working out, and they're learning karate from this fucking comb over motherfucker with a beard, and you're just like, holy fuck, dude. And he's just like, I'll kick any one of you, insert racist remark here. And then he like starts beating them all up, and then this woman comes out and she's like, I'm gonna fight you. And he was just like, I'm gonna take no mercy of you. And you're like, holy shit, dude, you're either an asshole woman beater, or you look at everybody as truly equals, which makes you more progressive than anybody in the fucking world. So you're either a saint or an asshole, but I'm gonna vote on the asshole. So, and then, you know, he whoops everyone's ass. And then I believe it's Ip Man that comes up, and he just beats the shit out of him. And it might not have been Ip Man. I can't remember who it was. Honestly, it was really, again, I was pretty tired last night. But, you know, I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah, it was Ip Man, because he jumps out of the, yeah, so he's about to whoop this woman's ass, okay? Like, he, like, fucking, he's about to, like, he's already, like, defeated her, and he's about to, like, get that KO fucking blow. And then Ip Man comes in, and he was just like, bah, 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 bah. So, like, you know, but this man is always fucking defending Chinese, like, honor. And it's always like if you've seen Ip Man 2, I believe, he's fighting the British dude, Western boxing. Ip Man 1, he's fighting the Japanese martial artist. Ip Man 3, he's fucking fighting Mike Tyson. And there's another guy he fights in Ip Man 3. And then Ip Man 4, he's now fighting this fucking douchebag, racist motherfucker of a Marines, fucking whatever you want to call him. And that dude, he was such a fucking tool, dude. There was a scene, I swear to God, dude. I swear to God. I don't know exactly what these martial art tools are called, but it's the wooden platform with all the arms where people, like, you've seen people hit them and strike them and do different things with them. And I think it's in the martial art combat style that Ip Man uses. Like, that's like one of the things that, like, that's one of the main things. Bruce Lee's used it. So basically, like, this staff sergeant in the Marines, who I believe came, because it has a bunch of Ip Man students and people who came from China who knew Ip Man, and then the communities that they know. So I'm not exactly sure where this guy's from or if he was in another movie. I just, you know, I really don't pay that much attention. But he's like, I want to show how Chinese Kung Fu can be used in hand-to-hand combat. And then this guy's like, fucking, you know, again, insert fucking racist remarks here. But he ends up losing to this karate dude. And he goes, all right, everybody who's from China, everybody who's Chinese can do 30 laps, and then the staff sergeant can do fucking 30 more after that. And I'm like, is everybody else okay with this motherfucker spouting off? Like, I would be like, holy fuck, dude. Like, did you fucking just say that? It is 20 fucking 20, bro. I mean, this movie's, again, set in 1970, but holy shit, dude. Like, the United States Code of Military Justice hasn't fucking changed in a while, so I'm pretty sure that's fucking illegal, you dumb shit. So while these motherfuckers running laps, he's like outside burning this fucking tool, this like wooden fucking platform. He's like standing behind it, and then like there's this like weird smoky faded off scene where like, dude, it's fucking ridiculous. Like he burns it. I would be like, motherfucker, you know how much those fucking cost? That'd be like buying like a barbell set with like a bench and shit, and like 45 plates and some 35 plates and some 25 plates, and that's gonna set you back some fucking a little hefty, and that'd be like some son of a bitch just fucking setting those on fire while you run around a track and be like, yeah, that's what you fucking get. And I'm like, dude, that costs like a lot of fucking money, you piece of shit. You gonna reimburse me for that, you asshole? So overall, and here's the ending to Ip Man. You know, eventually he tells his son, who he's struggling to have a relationship with, that he has cancer. He says the grass isn't always greener on the other side. We don't really know what happens at the end. I know that he teaches he starts to understand his son more a little bit at the end. And then he says, hey, son, record me. I'm going to demonstrate once. And there's this recording, and it was kind of sad because then they tied together Ip Man 1 and Ip Man 2 and Ip Man 3. And I was like, God damn it, dude, for as cheesy as a fucking movie this was at times, I am crying like a little bitch. And, you know, when I watch movies, I cry like a little fucking bitch, dude. A little fucking bitch. So, yeah, man, Ip Man 4. So, if you still want to watch it, you can definitely go watch it. It's on Netflix. You can definitely let me know how you think about it. But, hey, I'm not wrong, okay? I'm not wrong. I swear to God. I swear to God. Gosh dang it. I was going to go back to something earlier, but I can't figure out which app that it was. Thanks for sticking with me so far. If you stuck with me this far, then you might as well subscribe. You might as well go over to jtofjville.com or go to the JT of Jville on Twitter or Instagram. You can find my links to everything else on there. And I'm just going to have to type it in to figure it out, which what I should have done in the first place. Now, I hit Hickory Hills in Jackson, Michigan. I hit the white course, which is one of their longer courses. Let's see if I can look it up. Hickory Hills golf course. Okay. So let me explain golf this morning. I'm going to end on this because I want to tell you how I did in golf hole by hole. Now, the course is a 36-hole course, blue, maize, green, and white. White, I believe, is the longest. And I'm hitting blue tees, which are the farther back tees. My dad hits the white tees. So my dad's course is, actually, the green course is the longest, but the white course is 3,165 yards for white tees and 3,312 yards for blue tees. You know, that's almost hard to believe. It's not even the longest course, which is crazy. It's a tougher course, but it's got a little bit of water. Opens up with a par 5. And opens up with the par 5, par 3, par 4, par 5, par 4, par 3, finishes off 7, 8, 9 with 3 par 4s. Now, I opened up with a 7 out of 5, so I went 2 over. My dad got a par. I'm thinking, shit, it's going to be a rough day. We each got 1 over on hole number 2. Hole number 3, it's a par 4. I got a bogey. I got 5. He got a double, so he got 6. So I got 1 back on him. So I'm feeling a little bit better. The second par 5, bam, another fucking 7, dude. I was like devastated. I was like, damn, dude, double bogeys on 2 par 5s. My dad got a 6 though, so I was like, it wasn't too bad. Then it was hole number 5, a par 4. I got another bogey. He got a double bogey. So I was like, okay, you know, I'm at least a little constant. Hole number 6 is a par 3. Here's what I remember about this. It was, let's see. It is 225 yard par 3 for blue tees on the white course. So I pull up my hybrid, and I don't give it a full hit, but I give it like a nice feel to the swing. I hit the ball probably 5 yards short of actually touching the green, so I had like a really nice area to hit out of. I ended up getting a 3. I got a par. Okay, my chip was right next to the hole, and my dad ended up getting a triple. Hole number 7 was a par 4. Another one where this time I used my sand wedge and I just chipped it right next to the hole. And my dad's like, "Why don't you just put it in for par?" And I was like, "I gotta say it like that." He's like, "Because he's having a shitty time. Like, because he had a shitty time the last hole." I think he got a 5. He almost parred it. So we go to hole number 8. It's a par 4. Fucked my drive up terribly, awfully. Like, I topped the ball, hit the ground, went 30 yards on a par 4. Ended up with a 7. My dad got a 5. He's within 1. Through 7, I was at 35, right? And I said, wow, if I can hit 2 pars, man, I can shoot a 43 today. And I shoot a 7 on hole 8, and I said, holy fuck, I'm about to lose again. Hole number 9 is a par 4, and we each ended up getting double bogeys. And I finished with a 48, and he finished with a 49. Not the greatest day of golf that I've ever had, but coming off the back injury, by 1 stroke. But yeah, Cut's asking about golf right now. But yeah, I had a good day. My back feels good. I'm gonna ice it again. Realistically, though, I've got to be as good as I can so I can beat Pepper's fucking ass in Alaska, because nothing's gonna make me fucking happier than wiping the fucking floor with Pepper's face. I'm just kidding, dude. I like to just golf with Pepper for the fun of it, just to relax. It's, you know, it's fun just to hang out with my friend. We're just gonna have a great time hanging out. But I want to fucking dust your fucking ass at golf. LOL. Last time we played, his friend was like, "Hey, you're not allowed to play with us because you're doing too good." But I was hitting golf twice a week for like the first month and a half of 2019. I hit golf every day, like not every day. I hit golf twice a week just to get out. And when I finally started playing, and then my Cut flew out, and the Peppers came home, and we hit Peppers course, and I was like dominating that day. Like, I couldn't miss a shot, and people were like, "Holy fuck, dude!" And I'd be like, "Yeah, this is all I've been doing this year. I don't have any friends. I just have fun golf with my dad a lot. We just golf. We golf a lot." Anyways, though, that's gonna wrap her up for the JT Show. These have been a little shorter. I'm gonna try to bring a guest on the next show. Try to get Earl in here. Maybe Jeff wants to shoot a podcast. I don't know, dude. That'd be pretty cool. So, other than that, we're gonna be signing out for the JT Show. Please subscribe. I have a few shirts left. If you're interested, hit me up, slide into my DMs, subscribe, all that shit. Guys, thanks so much for listening. If you're listening right now, I really appreciate it. If you've made it through, because, you know, some people just dabble and they're like, "Oh, that's all I wanted to listen to, fuck him." But, you know, you got to build your following. You got to build your supporters. You got to stop saying, So, thank you, though, for all the support so far. Episode 42 is a wrap. Signing out.